Okay, everybody, right now, I am bringing you the last and the final Jason J. Statham, the Stady Dream Team life update. Alright? It's going to be wild, it's going to be action packed, and I'm going to try to keep it somewhat as brief as possible, okay? Because I know the last video I did was like 22 minutes or something like that, and that's arguably the longest one I've ever done up to this point, okay? It was a tough one. But, you know what? This is going to be very, very exciting. So please, make sure you watch it. Make sure you watch the whole thing. Stay involved. Stay tuned. Because it's all about my college career up to this point, okay? So, it was like when I started looking at colleges my junior year of high school, right? As most juniors in high school do. And I really started my search, that following summer leading into my senior year. And so there was one point that summer where we took a big family trip down North Carolina. So I toured some, colleges here in Massachusetts and around New England. And I just had this kind of gut feeling that I really wanted to go down south. Because I love the warm weather. So I'm like, that's a big, positive right there. And, I definitely saw some really nice schools down there, so I was like, hey, let's go check it out. So when we took our trip down to North Carolina, my mom and I were able to sneak out for a couple days and do, the big college tour around North Carolina and into South Carolina as well. And up to that point, I really wasn't really finding any schools that I liked, except for it was the last school that I think we toured on that trip, or at least one of the last few schools, called High Point University in High Point, North Carolina. And I'm telling you, as soon as we pulled into our parking spot for our tour, my mom and I looked at each other and were like, oh my God, this place isn't real. Like, this is like a country club, okay? And so we took our tour, it's really quite incredible. Like, the whole entire university is really quite incredible, right? So we toured it, really impressed by it. Finished up the college trip that we were taking. Then we went back to the house that we were renting out, which is a great house right on the beach. And spent the rest of the week on vacation. Then we went back home. And there were a couple colleges that I toured down in Florida. So essentially, I got accepted into 3 different schools, and one of them being HPU, and another being one of the schools down in Florida. And so essentially, I was torn between the 2 schools. It was a really tough decision, and so after we only had like a few weeks to decide. So after a few weeks, it got to a point where I was like, hey, High Point University, like, this shouldn't even be a decision, right? This is like the place for me. And it honestly was, you know what I mean? And so the summer going into my freshman year of college, I had to go down to HPU for a month to do like their summer advantage program, which I thought was great. It got me acclimated to the school pretty quickly. I already met some new friends, so, those 2 things right off the bat that really got me ahead of basically everybody else in my class. And the third thing that was really important too, and that I thought was great, was that I was able to get some credits out of the way, which essentially got me ahead a little bit. And it was great, you know what I mean? I honestly had a ton of fun with it. Getting those first few credits out of the way was awesome. And of course, obviously being able to get ahead of everybody else was essentially like I thought was great for me. So, if any of my other friends, needed help when we got back down to HPU, I could be like, oh yeah, here's what we want to do. And so I've got to say, freshman year of college went by really quickly. It went by like a breeze. I met a ton of great people, met a lot of great friends, got really involved with our chapel community, okay, and I was able to go to a ton of, so we don't have a football team, okay? Our sports, so we're a Division I school, but we're in a certain bracket of the Division I standings because we don't have a football team, so there it is right there. So it was great because I definitely went to a lot of our soccer games, and I went to a lot of our basketball games as well, and I met a lot of great friends that I was able to go to a lot of the home games with, as well as a lot of the away games as well. And what was really cool is that my freshman year, we signed a new head coach for our men's basketball team, Toby Smith. And when it comes to like coaching within the college basketball arena of things, he's basically one of the best coaches you can get. And my freshman year, the men's basketball team, new leadership, did okay, they could have definitely been a lot better if they had put in the effort a little bit more. But you know what? They were still, an average team, so I definitely wasn't complaining. And I got involved with like a lot of the chapel stuff on campus, and that was definitely a huge opportunity for me to get to know more people, make more friends, get my foot in the door for some stuff. And so, and I met, like I said, I met a lot of great people. My roommate freshman year, I loved my roommate freshman year. We're still very close friends. Again, he's one of those folks that I look to as a brother. And yeah, I was just shocked about how fast freshman year went. And like a lot of people did tell me how, it only goes quicker from here. It'll go super fast. It'll be gone before you know it. And I looked at all these people like, what are you talking about? Like, you're just joking around. What do you know? Like, come on. It's 4 years of college. Like, really? And now I've been calling a lot of those people back and be like, and I just keep telling them, I'm like, yeah, you are so right on that, because I just can't believe I am now going into my junior year of college. So, sophomore year, spring break, for the spring break, my freshman year, I went down to Florida with my grandmother, and we visited some close family friends, which was awesome. I haven't seen them in a few years, so it's definitely awesome being able to catch up, see them in person for the first time in quite a while. So that was fun. And then the summer, going into my sophomore year, I worked a ton, which is great, made a lot of money, refill that bank account, right, because I definitely spent a few extra dollars than I wanted to throughout freshman year. So my sophomore year, again, like, just flew by. Well, yeah, we'll get to the later part of sophomore year in a second, but again, it was great being able to not only be involved with the chapel stuff my first semester of sophomore year, but I was definitely, it was definitely comforting knowing I was going to go back down to school, and I had, a lot more friends and a lot more familiarity with the school than I did freshman year, right? And so I went down there with a lot more excitement, a lot more confidence, and my fall semester was honestly so great. Did a lot more stuff, like especially with my friends. We have a steakhouse on campus, which is awesome. So I went to our steakhouse basically every single week, and I loved it. So it's definitely a lot of great stuff that I did with a lot of friends. But the big focal point that we obviously want to talk about for my sophomore year was this past semester, right? Because what happened, we were down there, down at school, for the first half of the semester, things were going pretty well. I had a new job on campus with the club sports. I basically club sports manager, making sure everything's going okay the way it should be. And I was loving it. I thought it was the greatest thing ever. Obviously, I'm a sports management major with a minor in business administration, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I was like, this is right up my alley. This is a great way to start out in the sports industry, and it can only get better from this job is already great, and it's going to become even more better once we get rock and roll with it too. Once things really start to get going and really start ramping up, right? And so that's what I was excited about for the second half of this semester, was that after spring break, a lot of these games are going to start playing. It's going to be a lot more competition. There's going to be a lot more things for me to do with the job. And so I was excited. Like, it was going to be a great time. And my boss is a fantastic human, great person. Definitely really fun to talk to, really fun to hang out with. And so it was looking awesome. It was looking perfect, right? And so This year, again, for spring break, I went down to Florida, this time with my dad, and this time we visited my grandparents for the week. We had a fantastic week, okay? Did a lot of really cool stuff. I ended up going to a spring training game a couple days before the MLB closed down the spring training tournament. We went to NASA, okay? We went to the Kennedy Space Center. That was awesome. I love space. I love everything to do with it. So that was a great time. And we played a lot of golf, okay, because my grandparents live on a golf course, so I did a ton of golfing, okay? And it wasn't until later that week, it was probably like the Wednesday, Thursday or so, where my dad and I were out on the golf course. We were golfing with these two other gentlemen, okay? These two guys were fantastic. They were really great guys. And it was neat, because one of them was just retired as the CFO from a college near Orlando. And so we were probably on the 16th hole or so on the golf course, and I got an email from HPU saying, hey, you essentially need to come back to campus, pack up your stuff, and leave because, you guys are going to get another week off of break. And then after that, we're going to start classes online until further notice. And so we were talking with the gentleman that was the CFO at the college. And he was like, hey, yeah, look, you guys are basically not going to go back at this point because, the greatest asset that the schools have are not only the, employees and all, the faculty, the staff and all that, but also the students, right? Obviously, because we're basically the reason why colleges exist because, colleges need students and we're the students. And therefore, we're basically the greatest asset. And so with that being said, their main priority is keeping everybody safe and healthy. And, this COVID-19 epidemic puts all of you at risk. And if something happens, then a lot of trouble can happen, with the universities. And so after a little bit of panicking on my end, we figured out that we'll just fly from, at the end of the week, we'll just fly from Florida to Charlotte, North Carolina. We'll get a rental car. We'll head right up to High Point. We'll pack up everything in my dorm, and then we'll just drive on home. So that's what we did. At the end of the week, we went back home. We flew to Charlotte, got the rental car, packed up all my stuff, and as soon as we were pulling out of the parking lot of my dorm complex, I was looking at my dad. I'm like, I feel like I'm forgetting something. I really feel like, we're leaving something behind. And we're like, and he said, I'm sure we got everything. Like, we definitely double checked pretty much everything, so we're good to go. And so by the time we got into basically Virginia, like northern part of Virginia. And I was thinking about, the next time I was going to go golfing when I got back home, because my dad just got me like a golf membership at a golf course here in my town that I live in now. And it hit me. Again, we're several hours away from High Point at that point. And I looked at him like, Dad, I left my golf clubs in my room, okay? And then my golf clubs was the biggest thing that I owned that I had down in my room. And I forgot. I just completely forgot about it, and I left it. And I was like, "You got to be kidding me! Like this is such a ripoff." Okay, and so we ended up. So we got home. I unpacked everything. I got everything settled. It was great being home. Okay, especially too because my birthday is on March 16th, and I got home the day before, so I was able to not only celebrate my birthday on the 16th with my family, but I was also able to celebrate St. Patrick's Day on March 17th with my family as well. So it was just like several days worth of celebrating right there. And it just felt great being home too, especially knowing that, okay, I'm home now, I'm safe, I'm okay. And I'm able, with my family, so I'm able to, take care of things if need be. And it was good. And then I ended up having my school send my golf clubs back home. Okay, it cost me just about $100 to ship up, which I was not so happy about, but it's okay because the good thing is that I now have them. You know, so I've already been golfing since I've been home. So it's been worth it. Okay, especially now that obviously school's over, and I obviously won't be going down there until the fall if they decide to open back up in the fall. Okay, so you know, the rest of the semester obviously was online. Okay, we never went back down to HPU, unfortunately, because I quickly realized, you know, that I would definitely much rather be in the classroom learning rather than learning from the computer. Okay, I'm definitely an in-person type of guy. I'm definitely a social butterfly now. Okay, I definitely would much rather be able to interact with, you know, my fellow students and my professors. You know, if ever I have a question, I'd much rather go to their office rather than email them, because I can actually explain my confusion or my question or whatever. I can actually explain myself in person rather than trying to explain myself over an email, make it sound even more confusing than it should be. And so, you know, it worked out eventually. And I'll tell you, as soon as we were done with the online classes, I started jumping up for joy. I was like so happy. And so now, you know, I'm on summer break. You know, I've definitely been working a little bit. Definitely been spending some time with family, which is definitely much needed. Obviously, with the social distancing stuff, you know, in our minds. So it's been good. It's been a fantastic journey so far, and I'm actually shaking things up now. You know, I withdrew I really want to do more sports stuff. Obviously, with this, you know, news video series that I'm doing on YouTube, I really want to start my sports back up again. And I actually withdrew myself from all of the chapel organizations, just because I feel like the leadership opportunity just wasn't really there for me anymore. And so now I am looking at different clubs and different organizations to join, which has been awesome, to really be able to use my, because I really do have some strong leadership qualities, and I'm now looking, you know, at other organizations that could really benefit and really utilize my leadership role. And so I am super excited to see what, you know, the future of my college career looks like, and I'm super excited to see how it will play out. And for now, you know, the summer, you know, it'll be interesting to see what happens. You know, as Massachusetts is slowly starting to open things up again, so we'll just kind of roll with the punches, see what happens, and see where everything goes. And I'm definitely planning on doing a big beach trip throughout the summer and hitting up a lot of the beaches throughout the New England area, because there are a couple beaches that I've been to already, but I'll need to see different ones that I can go to, and I'll just kind of go from there. So, yeah, this has been my life journey up to this point. Okay, this will officially conclude my life series update. So, without further ado, I will conclude it now. Okay, I know there have been a lot of life lessons I've pointed out to you all throughout, like, along the way so far. So just, you know, watch these videos again and again and again. Keep getting those life lessons out of it. And form your own opinions, you know, about what, you know, can be learned about life up to this point, because I've definitely been through one heck of a lot. And there's a lot of lessons that I've learned, okay? And I've pointed a lot of them out, like a ton. So thank you for being a part of this journey with me. I hope all of my crazy life journeys has been some sort of vision for you and some sort of hope for you to incorporate within your own life. And from here on out, with this life update, I will be doing kind of daily video logs to just kind of give you an insight of what my days look like, how my daily journey looks like, because every day is just totally different from the day before, especially in my life. So without further ado, I will stop talking right there. But again, thank you for being part of this journey with me. Okay, stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe, and thank you to our frontline workers. All right, peace out from the State Dream Team. I'll see you soon.